Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jarod Gray with my co-host, the Dynasty Chef Steve, and 50 Shades of Trump, Jordan Rains and Steve. Good morning, guys. We are part of the Full-Time Fantasy Podcast Network, as always. How are you guys doing on this last championship weekend before the Super Bowl?
I know, man. I'm pumped.
I bet you are.
Chiefs get this money, baby. Let's go.
So I actually got a little bet on this one, man. I got the Chiefs and the over in that game.
Oh, I bet.
I think that's a good.
I can't blame you.
That's the play for sure.
I mean, if they can score 51, let's get it.
Not a bold move there.
Yeah, that's a safe bet.
Yep.
I think so too. I mean, as long as they start hot, I think that's the biggest deal for them.
I want to see some Tyreek Hill action. He hasn't caught many daggers this year, many bombs. He's caught a few, but like nothing like last year and the year before with Alex Smith. Like I felt like he had a 50-yard touchdown almost every game, and I think he had like one week, the first week playing, or no, his first week back from injury. So I don't really remember any since then. So I'm ready for one of those.
Yeah, he hasn't had some huge ones, but the biggest thing for him is he can go out of nowhere. I mean, look, Blake Bell had 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Blake Bell hasn't done a thing all year. I mean, obviously I know him because he went to Oklahoma, but did nothing. And this dude balls out last week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the thing is that shows you how good Mahomes is.
Yeah, he can make anybody score. So hopefully it's Tyreek. But we got big day in football, and then we got the Packers playing the 49ers. That'll be a great game. Some good IDP action there. If you're in any of these IDP playoff leagues, I'm in a couple. I'm sure you guys are maybe in one or two. There's some quality players in both these games. So shout out Nick Bosa, shout out Zadarius Smith, big dogs all season. But we got a good episode today. We're going to talk about some free agents that are coming up and like some potential landing spots and their situations, how they did this year. But we're going to lead off the episode talking about the IDP 1-2-3 scoring format, which we are kind of adopting as our flagship, whatever you want to call scoring for this year. It's kind of going to be the context for everything we talk about all season, in terms of like what players scored. We'll probably use that as our metric or close to it. We had a couple of variations that we kind of argued about, behind closed doors about what we thought was best. I had an idea. These guys came at me and kind of, slapped me around a little bit and helped me see the light. And I spent a lot of time messing with the numbers and running a bunch of different like weekly models with the scores we found and year end and kind of just comparing what they ended up doing for week to week upside and season upside. And we kind of landed on this one scoring that we really like. So, we're going to rock with it, and we're going to tell you guys about it a little bit today. I guess we can just go ahead and bust it out. If you can pull it up on the screen, just kind of walk through it. The name IDP 1-2-3 came. I was at work, and I was just I was like humming, the Jackson 5, the ABC, 1, 2, 3. And I was just like thinking, I was like, man, like 1, 2, 3, like that has like such a good memorable, like it's an easy thing to remember because we all know like one of the things in IDP is scoring. Like it's hard to find, like there's not a lot of consistency between league to league scoring, and that makes it hard to project players. That makes it hard to comment on players, answer questions about players when we get these, start sit questions and stuff. When you guys know it, I know it, league to league, you might not start the same player because of the scoring system. So we wanted to kind of address that and, have a model we could work with going forward and tell people about, give some context. But the 1-2-3 is kind of to make it simple. The idea is, simple scoring, a unified scoring system. So all players are going to have the same scoring system. You're not going to have any premiums. That should be the exception, not the rule, in my opinion. And it's mostly balanced. Again, we wanted to hit the upside weekly that an offensive player could hit, but not go past it. And we wanted to hopefully get season-long upside that's similar. So we were actually in a dummy league this offseason, all three of us. You guys liked that one, right? That was like our first round, our rough draft.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, it was a good start for everything, and it's good to see how that went.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we went from. That was we got the raw scores off of like the original IDP 1-2-3, and we tweaked it. So, but in that, like I think the very best week was Cameron Jordan. One of you guys had Cameron Jordan in that league, right? Or maybe it was my buddy. Anyway, Cameron Jordan's ceiling for that week was it 14, 13 when he went off. He had like 4 sacks or something like that.
Yeah, kind of a bonkers.
Yeah, he ended up with like 54 points, and that was the highest score we recorded on defense. And the highest score we recorded on offense in that league that season was Russell Wilson, from what I saw, and he hit 55 one week. So the ceiling we kind of saw based off the rough outline was there. So, but then we went back and kind of tweaked it a little bit. We had a quarterback hits probably a little too high because they stack on sleeper. So we kind of messed with that, and then we went with the assisted tackle over having every tackle be 1. So basically, it says right there, it's quarterback hits in the way this scoring format works. Quarterback hits and assisted tackles are 1 point. That's just kind of your baseline. Your assisted tackle, we kind of wanted to make that. We kind of want to make these low scoring, but especially the assisted tackles compared to the solo tackles, which was something I was kind of against. But these guys talked me into it, and when we ran the model a little bit, it looked really good. 2.
Yeah, I just saw after, when you look at it, as many leagues as, all of us have been in, I just saw it being a better aspect for us, solo tackles compared to assisted tackles. Let's give the guys the credit. So
exactly.
That was for me.
Yep, and I think that was the right call. You're right. I mean, a solo tackle should just simply be worth a little bit more than an assisted tackle, and it kind of makes it, different ways to score. So you can score different points for different things, and that's kind of, instead of just giving all tackles 1, a tackle for a loss, a solo tackle, an assisted tackle, any old tackle a number, you kind of break them up by level of difficulty, their occurrence rate, variation from position, things like that are considered. The 2 is the almighty solo tackle, and then tackles for loss. We decided those should be credited a little bit more as well, since they're kind of less of a occurring thing. Leaders in the league have in the mid-20s, sometimes into the 30s for tackles for loss. So it's not like it happens a whole hell of a lot, but it should be credited when it does, because it's a game-changing play. I mean, look at what Fred Warner did to get, the Seahawks, or not the Seahawks, 49ers, that little cushion there. I mean, that tackle made a big difference.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not shown enough, and it needs to be, and that's a big deal. So I think you got to give them props. And if you're not, what's the point? That's the whole point of IDP is you want to give the defensive players the love, especially guys like, Jamaro Davis, who let's give him some props. He's always retweeting. He's always, liking stuff.
Yeah.
So
he was
those are the guys that need to get more love. I mean, sure, Aaron Donald's a big name, right? And we talked about Shaq Barrett not becoming an All-Pro because people don't know his name.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this could be a big way to change it, and that's the whole point of this.
Yeah, we want to, we want IDP to.
The owners don't want to hear that. The owners don't.
Yeah, some people. Yeah, exactly. Those contracts just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. But the tackles for loss and solos we decided would be good for 2 points, and then the 3. This is kind of where you're getting into the not necessarily big plays, but game-changing plays in a lot of ways. You got your forced fumbles, you got your fumble recoveries, pass defended, safeties, and block kicks. And again, the idea is 1, 2, 3, because that's simple. You can sit down and explain this to your uncle who plays regular football at dinner in 2 minutes. Like IDP 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3 is the format. You're only going to score 1, 2, or 3 points per event or occurrence, and then you lay out the occurrences. And they're kind of weighted that way. And you can get them to stack too, which is nice. The forced fumble recovery, that's a 6-point play. Maybe you get it in the sack too, so that could turn into a 12-point play. And these are game-changing plays. We were just open the show talking about a 60-yard touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill. I mean, that's 13 points like that, and it happens. It's not like it never happens. And defensive guys should also get that kind of. They should have the ability to make a 13-point play in fantasy football. And that brings up
really big plays. Corey Littleton with the strip sack, forced fumble, recovery, and a touchdown.
Yeah, you can go ham. Yeah, you can get a real big play, but I mean that's almost the same as a 99-yard screen pass. I mean, again in PPR, I mean you're hitting similar numbers, which is exactly what we were going for. And it's based on the rarity and occurrence of the play, so we feel like it scaled pretty well. And then we went with 6. You got to have a touchdown on the defensive side. You got to have that play. You're sitting there, you're just on the edge of your seat, like let my guy get this one, like let him get it. So we threw in the sacks, the interceptions, and then the IDP TDs for 6. So that kind of lays out the overall idea of IDP 1, 2, 3, or not the idea, but kind of the rubric, the metrics. And if you're listening to this and your league is looking for a new scoring system, or your league is getting ready to convert to IDP and you're looking for 1-2 enact, feel free to take this.
If you're a PPR league, there should be no other format you're looking at than this.
Yeah.
Because a full point PPR league, you need to have, and you want an IDP centric aspect to it, you have to go with this.
You have to, because
there's no way you can compete if your defensive players aren't worth playing. Right. And I can tell you, we have, I've got a group of 12 that we do this, and I've watched the people you thought was going to be the bottom feeder score right with the top guy because they have good defensive players, even though they didn't draft great offensive players. So it works both ways. I mean, you got to really learn to draft here.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it.
Yeah. It makes team building more interesting and more complex because you're not just relegating defensive players to the back end. Because when you're stacking, you really are looking at, you need a high end X, Y, and Z guy on defense. It's not a low tackle. These guys only account for 25-30% of your overall score in your league. I mean, these guys are neck and neck, ceiling and upside with your offensive players. So you really have to give a lot of consideration to how you draft, how you trade. Maybe you can pick guys up off of waivers that'll still get you good amounts of points, but that's kind of like the same on offense. I mean, you always find a guy like Kenyon Drake. I found him on waivers after a few weeks in some leagues. I mean, people drop players, but we really wanted to emphasize the importance of the IDP players in this scoring format. And this is what we're going to roll with going forward this year. And, feel free to take it and play with it a little bit. If you want to make, a tackle for loss for 3, have at it. I mean, that's not too far off still what we're going to be putting out as content and talking about. And it makes things a little bit easier for us to answer and understand about leagues when the scoring, starts to become mass adopted, hopefully, or at least begins to bring it to light that this can be fixed. It's just going to take, a little bit of effort on people's parts to make some changes and just give it a try. So that's all we want to say about it.
What I love about it is it makes defensive players as valuable as offensive players. Mm-hmm. And it makes it, when you're going to make a trade, you can be like, hey, X player on defense for Y player on offense. And
you can show them that this is a similar trade.
Much fairer trade than it was previously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in a couple of IDP suppressed leagues, and trading defensive players, but guys laugh at you because they're like, I can get, I don't need to get a defensive player because they don't mean anything. What's 3 or 4 extra points this week?
Exactly.
And it really makes it kind of tough.
That's why I don't like suppressed leagues. I want a league where my defensive players are going to be. I've had bad offensive weeks out of 4 players, and my defensive players end up carrying me for the week. And
I want to be in a
just
league
how
where people go nuts over me.
And to be able to do that, you have to have the weekly upside in a defensive position player as you do as an offensive position player. You need to be able to say, all right, Chandler Jones, I need 40. And there aren't many guys in the league that can do it, but you're on my team and I know you can. Kind of like when you're Monday night and Tyreek Hill's going in and you're down 29. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if a motherfucker could do it, you can do it. So let's get it done.
So a chance.
You're saying there's a chance, and you load your team up with guys like that on purpose. It's not, I had TJ Watt in a league even in that suppressed kind of league, he did win me a Monday night game of just going ham. I mean, I needed 20 points, I think, or something. And in that league, 20 is a big night, close to top end for defensive players. And he hit it. And I was like, damn, I didn't see that coming. But because the league is so kind of suppressed away from that, I was like, man, he could have 10 tackles and I'm going to lose this game because it's literally a 1 point per tackle. That's it. And I was just like, ooh, this is not going to be good. But he still hit it. So it's a lot more fun. And IDP in general is so much more fun. I know you guys are seeing it. People are asking about leagues and it's kind of gaining steam, which is, what we want. We want more people to play this because it's fun. I mean, it literally is it's like I discovered fantasy football again when I finally got into a first IDP league. It's that good. And I'm sure you guys remember
it changed everything for me. I'm not even trying to. I'm in this league. I've been in this league for 10 years, 12 years. Mm-hmm. I'm listen, if you guys don't move to IDP, I'm gone.
Yeah.
because
time.
Let's have some fun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to tell everybody, if you're not playing IDP, you're only playing half the game. I mean, why do the guys on the field only play half? Do they only play offense?
It makes me watch the whole game more. I think fantasy football has really pulled away just the people. I don't think you're more worried about what's going on in offense. This way, you have to watch everybody. That's huge to me.
Yep. Because, a perfect example is look at Eric Armstead on the 49ers. He's probably this year their best defensive lineman. But the only person anyone wants to talk about is Nick Bosa. You know what I mean? And it's because of who he is, But if people played and were more into the defensive side of the ball, they would know that Armstead has been having a great, great year. Not just 49ers fans, but the general public would know that. The general public knows Nick Bosa's had a good year, but the general public does not know, Armstead has. So I think, you're right. It just makes football more interesting. It makes your leagues more interesting.
Well, we talked about this. A lot of people thought that, mid-season that Nick Bosa deserved the Rookie of the Year. Did you look at Devin Bush's numbers at that time?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't even talking about him because one was drafted second pick in the draft. So he's got the both names.
Doing good.
Devin Bush is killing it mid-season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't even that close personally.
Yeah. That's one thing that I'm hoping, me and Steve are headed down to Senior Bowl tomorrow. I'm hoping to maybe talk to some of these defensive guys and just say, hey, do you guys play fantasy? Are you aware of it? Are you aware that there are people that play defensive fantasy football that are super stoked to, draft you this year? How does that make you feel? Because I'm sure the offensive guys talk about that stuff, they tweet about it. They know about it. But defensive guys, I'm excited to, hear if they, what that fuels their fire at all, if that interests them at all. Especially, I'm going to make sure to mention to him.
You're going to draft yourself?
Yeah. You should play in one of our leagues. See if we can get one to sign up for an IDP 1-2-3 league with us.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
An IDP Army league. I don't know. We'll see. That might be fun. Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Can't make it.
It's going to happen. I'll be there next year.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. But, anyway, before we move on, I'm just going to give a little player comp. So, for an IDP 1-2-3 league, this last year, Aaron Jones. We'll do Aaron and Jones. I put this on my Twitter. Some people might not have seen it, but in PPR leagues, Aaron Jones was RB2, and he scored an average about 20.1 points per game. In IDP 1-2-3 leagues, Chandler Jones was the number 1 overall ranked edge or defensive lineman player, and he scored 21.7. So he did just a little bit better than Aaron Jones, who was the number 2. So that just, again, kind of shows you, you can trade an elite offensive player for an elite defensive player in an IDP 1-2-3 league, and you know that what you're getting back is going to return similar value in your lineup. So,
all of our testing was done on Sleeper app.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is true. So that's kind of.
So my only kicker, and then we've talked about this on guys who should have an edge rusher,
tag
designator, and only 2 or 3 groups put that in. It's hard for me to put Shaq Barrett at linebacker when I have Corey Littleton and guys like that. If I had the top 3 linebackers in the league last year, knowing I could have put Corey Littleton, Corey Littleton, Kiko Alonso, and somebody else. Not Darius Leonard, but somebody else. Actually, I had Darius Leonard one time.
Luke Kuechly.
So I had all 3.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could have Shaq Barrett as the edge rusher, it'd been over.
Well, that's another thing which I'm glad you brought that up about IDP 1-2-3 leagues. We didn't mention how many people to play in that, but ideally you're really looking for multiple defensive flex spots, D flexes as they were. I like to play with at least 3 of those. So I like to do 2 or 3 linebackers, 2 defensive linemen, 2 defensive backs. And then when you play with 3 flex spots, it kind of opens things up, kind of like you're saying. Now you're playing your 3 good, tackle-heavy linebackers.
I think if you got 3 more flex spots, you're going to kick over 300 points, no problem.
Yeah, but that's going to Oh yeah, in a week. But I mean,
like
it's still
one or two flex spots because you already got two. If you got three linebackers, that's three. You got two defensive linemen, that's two, and then two more corners. I mean,
that's only 7 though. I mean, you really need to start at least.
How many offensive players you playing? You playing a quarterback, 2 running backs,
2 or 3 wide receivers.
You're having a flex, 2 wide receivers.
I always do 2 or 3 flexes. That's what I like.
I think if you've got 3 flexes on the offense, you're gonna have 3 on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you
got 2 on offense, you do.
That opens it up.
One flex. Like if you went to NFL.com
or flex league, you need to fix that. That's not cool.
I think 2 is fine. 3 is a lot. 3.
I mean, in those MFL leagues I'm on, I mean, we're starting like
I used to have 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers,
8 flexes,
and then a tight end.
Wow. That's a lot of flexes.
Are you not in any leagues like that?
I don't know if I have.
That's a lot of flexes, bro. That's a lot of players.
I've heard of leagues that were all flexes, though.
That league's insane, though. They have tons of premiums. I mean, you can kick 600 points in that league, no problem.
That's way too much.
Yeah, it's a little nuts.
I want to see a cap. Like if your team went just absolutely bonkers, you could score like 330.
I think that's
I'm in a 14.
Like if everybody,
I'm in a 14 team league. Like you can start 14 players, and I promise you've got 4 or 5 players on that team. You're like, because I think you have. You can start 14, but you have 26 rostered players. Believe me, there's many times where you're like, man, I should have started this guy. So many times.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm gonna drop one more little fat nug.
Personally, Russell just asked 10 or 12 team leagues. I think you got to play 12 teams.
12 teams.
I personally,
I'd rather play in 10-man league with active good owners than a 12-man league with like 3 dudes that like only come into the chat to like people on blast. Sure.
But
it's hard to find 12 solid people, though. I mean, it's harder than most people.
I'm in 3 leagues with 12 that are all 12, and we all talk smack.
That's what's.
I've been in one for 10 years.
But exactly, it's taken you. You know, you've been working on that. I'm sure you've had some people maybe come and go here and there.
Yeah, we've had
got a lot.
I would say every year we at least have one person that's new. So, and we've had one time we had 3 people that were new, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And then they realized we had one person that came in, won the championship, and left.
I just had that this year. Come in,
one and done, baby.
He's a friend of mine, and I
here's the funny thing.
But
he hasn't played fantasy
dropping
football
leagues this year to do a bunch of stuff, and it's like, man, you just won the ship. What's up?
All right, so now let's get to the conversation that I think we're all kind of itching to do before the draft, and I really think the draft, you're going to see a lot of moves before the draft, especially in free agency.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dude, there's so many stud players in free agency. I mean, you posted the other day a list of guys that were absolute studs. Corey Littleton, Ndamukong Suh, Dante Fowler, Kyle Van Noy, guy that I've been on all year long, Devondre Campbell.
Von Bell, big free agent right there.
Bell, Logan Ryan. I mean, these are not small names. And then, these are like the quarterbacks that are on the free agency wire right now, which is crazy. Guys like Corey Littleton and Devondre Campbell, Ndamukong Suh. We have talked all year how big Ndamukong Suh was for Aaron Donald last year and Shaq Barrett this year. How do you not sign this dude? I mean, you got to. He's got 2 years in a row, right, where you're like, wow.
He's playing next to
blow up because of this guy.
Defensive player of the year, or should be defensive player of the year.
It's gonna be crazy.
It's just crazy to me. I mean, those are just some quick names. My question to you, with Luke Kuechly retiring, who do the Panthers go after? Do you go after a proven commodity with a young proven commodity too? Corey Littleton's young. Let's be real here. Devondre Campbell, young. Right? Or do you go after rookies?
I don't know.
Russell, I will take this. I love AJ Epinesa. Russell said AJ Epinesa will be the rookie of the year, not Chase Young. I don't think either one of them will be. So there's that.
No, it's going to be Simmons.
I'm with you.
Yep.
I'm that high on Simmons too. He's the most versatile player. I tweeted somebody today. Simmons is a better prospect than Shaq Thompson was coming out of college when he was at Washington because he could play 2 or 3 positions. This guy played, 6 positions in the championship game? 6.
That's crazy.
Inside, outside, rusher, corner, safety, and something else. And a defender. And I think he played nose tackle twice.
Yeah. That's wild.
Bro, I mean, are we talking? This is crazy.
He's never
He is that versatile. So if they find a spot where, hey, let's use this dude, Eric Reed, maybe. Just telling you. That potential.
Damn. That's what's up. I think you're right. I think Simmons is probably going to get it. But as far as free agents that could or would or should sign with the Panthers, we talked about it a little earlier before we went on. I like Joe Schobert a lot. I think that the Browns are kind of going to blow.
I think Cleveland's going to sign
there. Say it again.
I think Cleveland will sign him.
They should.
The fan base loves him. He's already a proven leader. His teammates like him. He's a no BS guy too. I mean, you don't have an attitude with him. He doesn't get,
Yeah, I mean, he's a
Do
solid.
you ever hear Joe Schobert off the field? No. Right. I'm not worried about any of that. But if you're the Carolina Panthers, he's also another guy like, hey, bro, this dude kind of plays like Luke Kuechly.
Mm-hmm, that's what I'm saying.
He's an all-pro. He played all-pro caliber this year. To where the Browns, hopefully, they don't look at this way, especially with the changeover. They're like, oh, well, we still got Kursky. Well, bro, Kursky got injured all year. Joe Schobert stays on the field, which is important. So,
yeah, you're 100% right.
I could see him testing it because he could probably get paid.
Well, another guy who's young that I kind of think he's a free agent is Blake Martinez. So, I mean, you got Schobert and Martinez, who to me would be, if you're looking for a guy that you're really just going to keep around for a while, it's got to be one of those two you're looking into.
I think Schobert is like more of a better Matt Milano, though.
I don't know. He's
a proven leader. He's a great tackler.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't going to give you much else. He ain't going to go intercept, 2 footballs a game. He's not going to go force 5 forced fumbles again. He's not going to get those crazy numbers. But he can tackle.
He had 4 interceptions this year.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of them were dead, 2 of them were literally dead at his face. He wasn't.
Hey,
if he dropped
interception.
But I think he had 2 or 3 drops too. So he's in the position. He's a baller. I mean, we've talked about this. I love Blake Martinez. But is he going to get paid? If Green Bay's smart, they pay him.
Yeah, Green Bay would be smart to keep that unit together, I think. I know there's a lot of people that are Packers people and analytics people that don't really like Blake Martinez.
They're in the NFC Championship game here. You can't change too much.
Yeah, exactly. I
mean,
don't.
I think they better pay him.
Don't Browns this, okay?
Yeah, well,
because if they don't pay him, there's so many suitors. Chris just chimed in. They better pay him. Russell just said Blake Martinez to the Panthers. I don't believe that. However, tell me this: wouldn't you take him as a Viking, Chris? You would.
Who? Blake Martinez?
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. Although I really him playing with Eric. Ooh, that'd be nice.
Eric Kendricks?
Yeah, baby.
Bruh. Him and Kendricks together would be stupid. And then Barr?
Yeah.
It might be time to move on from Barr. I love Barr, but I don't know if he fits their system.
He doesn't produce a whole lot as far as like stats.
He got quiet. I remember his first 2 years, he was a monster, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. He didn't even pop up on the top 32, I don't think, on IDP 123 scoring bar. Not even close.
I'm with you. The Vikings cap room is not big. The Panthers, though.
Yeah, if they get rid of Cam, they should have, and Kuechly's gone, they should have plenty of money laying around.
I'm telling you, if Corey Littleton or Blake Martinez or even Devondre Campbell, because they've watched Devondre Campbell eat them up the last year, I don't know how you don't pay Devondre Campbell if you're a Falcon. Because Deion Jones didn't do a whole lot. I mean, he started to really come along at the end, but he did that last year too. He got injured, and then he had a horrible season. Then he got sold high because he had 5 good games. Right? Devondre Campbell is a guy, dude. And I agree, Bark is probably underutilized in Minnesota. So there's so many big dudes. But Corey Littleton, bro, if I'm the Panthers, buy high, bro. I am going to get me some money for Corey Littleton because that guy is a beast.
Yeah, Corey Littleton is probably
I try to keep him.
He's probably the best linebacker that's going to be a free agent. That's pretty easy. And then I would say Martinez and then Schobert. Yeah, those are the big names.
Where you got Kyle Van Noy, who's Devondre Campbell. Dude, how many interceptions did Devondre Campbell have this year?
That is a good question.
5?
He had Devondre Campbell.
Dude, Eric Kendrick should have had.
He had 2.
Okay.
Still not bad, though.
Eric Kendrick should have had 10
linebacker.
interceptions this year. Let's be real here. He really should have. Eric Kendrick should have had that many interceptions this year.
Yeah, he had his hand on a lot of
He could have had 3.
But he had
2 weeks
0
ago.
interceptions, but he had 12 pass breakups.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Well, then he had an interception in the playoff game, and then he had a drop in the playoff game, which considered a pass deflection.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what do you think about my dude Robert Quinn? He's going to be a free agent. So is Jason Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett. So there's 3 guys this year who all hit double-digit sacks. I know actually Jason Pierre-Paul hit like 9 in like what was that 8 games, 9 games?
so here's the thing. I feel like
Same
you're
with
going to
Robert
have
Quinn too, though.
after last year, you're going to have to pay Shaq Barrett.
Yeah, somebody, but
I
somebody
don't want
will.
Shaq Barrett unless I have Ndamukong Suh.
Exactly.
You're probably not going to get.
That's how much I value Sue at this point. Like it's proven. His opposite has blown up. Aaron Donald blew up. And Aaron Donald, don't get me wrong, I've been high on Aaron Donald since he was at Pittsburgh, right? So, but he's even more beneficial when somebody else has got to worry about Ndamukong Suh. When you're double team Ndamukong Suh, you can't double team Aaron Donald.
Exactly.
So, to be honest with you, there's so many teams that I could see go after Ndamukong Suh, Shaq Barrett. I mean,
Super valuable.
if it worked, you could. Who we're talking about in the same state? Isn't Calais Campbell? Yannick?
Yannick is a free agent.
I mean,
the biggest name on the free agent, and so is Chris Jones. I didn't realize that. Who's not going to play?
Yeah, bro. This is like the craziest year
for pass rushers. Jadeveon Clowney too, but I'm probably the lowest person in the world on Jadeveon Clowney.
But he played really well over the last couple of games.
He did.
Yeah, he always plays really well.
I mean, it's just one of those things. Like Jadeveon Clowney has all the talent in the world. If you can get him to go to 100%, 80% of snaps, he's a stud. However, he doesn't have that TJ Watt mentality where let me go all day long.
Yeah, he's really good at getting pressures and being disruptive.
The time he works every time.
He's less good at getting fantasy points on a consistent basis. Of the guys on this list that we kind of named off, we got Clowney, Robert Quinn, Jason Pierre-Paul. I think that Clowney goes somewhere else. I think Robert Quinn probably stays with the Cowboys. I think Jason.
Didn't they trade for Clowney though?
Yeah, but I think he only had a 1-year deal, or he was only on his contract for 1 more year or something. He's a free agent, and
I mean, in Clowney's aspect, if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, dude, the Seattle Seahawks have been pretty proven with Pete Carroll. They go to the playoffs, right? They went to what? They've went to 3 Super Bowls since he's been the coach.
Yeah, that's more than a lot of coaches in a long time.
Yeah, so,
I mean, they've
out on
it's just crazy most of the last 2 years.
I just look at so many small aspects, and if I'm trying, because I think you can get Ndamukong Suh overall pretty cheap at this point. There are so many teams. Tell me this: you got Josh Allen in Jacksonville. To re-sign Yannick would be hard, right? However, I can sign Suh and move Josh Allen over for a lot less money.
And that'd be pretty valuable.
Could you imagine if Ndamukong Suh signs with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Yannick goes? I am buying all kinds of Josh Allen, bro.
All day long.
I am all up in that life. And he was already high for me. You know, he was top 4 for my top 25. So I am all up on that dude.
Going. Wherever Suh goes.
Dynasty?
Yep. We'll definitely have to monitor where Suh lands, because wherever he lands, whoever's there gets a boost.
Definitely.
And if he does leave Tampa Bay, does that hurt? Do you think that hurts the linebackers any? They had a lot of forced fumbles and interceptions, things like that. I mean, do you think he was even responsible for some stuff like that? Do you think that's going to?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, as much pressure as he had.
We didn't even know who Shaq Barrett was before.
Yeah, did you even know who Shaq Barrett was until this year?
No.
And it's I'm
talking more about the effect him leaving would have on Devin White and Levante David specifically.
Well, no, Levante David's Levante David. Devin White, you know how I feel about him. I think he's one of the – he missed, 4 games? Well, he played 13 games, but he really missed – he really didn't play 13 games because he went out in the first quarter. So – but when he came back, he's one of the top scorers in fantasy football. He's one of the top tacklers, and he was a rookie. I think they needed that. I don't know if Shaq Barrett resigns because they know they might have the next Derek Brooks and Devin White. So, and that's some high praise, bro. But that's what I truly believe in. That kid is that talented.
Damn. Yeah.
So, if Suh leaves, Barrett leaves. I think you sign one or the other.
Yeah.
So,
any of these defensive back guys stick out more than the rest? To me, it's Von Bell and Justin Simmons. They're kind of, to me,
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, but I feel like Ryan
all defensive backs in fantasy football.
He's been poo-pooing Logan Ryan the whole time.
I mean, I'm pro Logan Ryan. I don't have any real speculation about where he goes or even what he can command. I know he had a good
shutdown. That dude's been a shutdown. I mean, how many corners are in the league that you can legit depend on?
I don't know. I don't know. Half of them?
2.
Do it. I'm gonna give you some. Jamie Smith, Logan Ryan, Chris Harris, Devin McCourty, Rodney McLeod from Philadelphia, Ronald Darby from Philadelphia, Brandon Carr, Jonathan Joseph from Houston,
Richard Sherman, Marcus Peters,
Taven Wilson, who I think resigns.
Oh,
I don't think there's any way you let Jason or Taven Wilson go, especially because you lost. You got rid of Quandre Diggs, so I don't think there's any way. Clinton Dix, free agent. Carl Joseph at Oakland, free agent. Byron Jones at Dallas, who, dude, The dude's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Super talented, crazy athlete. Trey Boston. Adrian Phillips.
Yeah, I'm interested in where Trey Boston lands. He always just seems to be a guy I feel comfortable playing week to week if I just need a warm body. He's helped me out
Von Bell.
quite a bit.
We've been on Von Bell. Anthony Harris.
Oh, yeah, those guys are top tier.
Kamal Ishmael.
Von Bell missed games this year, and he still finished top 10.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't get much more reliable than that. Jamal Adams kind
Kendall
of thing.
Fuller at Kansas City.
Yeah, he was solid all season.
Kendall. Bro, this list is massive.
Yeah,
and I'm just talking about unrestricted free agents. Bro, this list is stupid. I mean, there's so many solid dudes on this list.
There's going to be a good shift in the IDP landscape, as there is probably every off season, but maybe it just feels more intense now because we're in it now. But like you said, I mean, there are some big names at all positions. And
I think Eli Apple's gone. You agree? That dude's trash.
I don't know. I know they brought in what's-his-face, Janoris Jenkins, and they seemed pretty happy with him playing.
That's why I say Eli Apple's gone.
Yeah, so I mean, I could definitely see that. Or if he could take a pay cut or something, they might keep him around.
And that's the one question about Von Bell, because you know what you got out of Gardner Johnson, and he played so well and when Von Bell was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They don't seem to pay players there. I mean, heck, after Brandon Cooks had a phenomenal year, that dude got traded straight away.
Yep.
They paid Michael Thomas.
Well, as much as you want to, you're probably the biggest Michael Thomas hater I know.
You are.
That dude.
I am. Fact.
He might be the best receiver in the league.
He probably is. Hate is.
I'm surprised.
We can talk. We talked about this mega early in the season because my dude keeps doing this and Jordan thinks it. But bro, balled out this year.
He's sitting on the toilet.
He's the first player to have 4,000 yard receiving seasons in a row, right?
I didn't know that.
So
I know he was a beast in fantasy this year. He crushed people's dreams.
Yeah, he's too good.
Yeah,
but there's so many good players that. I mean, I would love to know what people think. Like, hey, who do you hope your team gets? One for fantasy and one just as your team. Like,
yeah, guys, if you're on the Twitter sphere or whatever, add us and tell us where you think some of these guys should end up or could end up. Drop a comment. I'm sure.
Here's the thing: Sean Lee's gone, right? And I think with Jason Garrett heading out the door and stuff like that, with some injuries to Leighton Vander Esch, you could see Devondre Campbell or Corey Littleton come over to the Cowboys.
That's
could you imagine
in the face to Leighton Vander Esch?
But dude, it could happen.
They've already put so much money in their linebacker position, and they've dumped all this money into DeMarcus. They dumped money into Zeke, and then they got to pay Dak. I mean, I don't think they can make a splash move at linebacker, especially with Leighton still on a rookie contract.
I'll tell you what,
with that third linebacker will probably be somebody who's just there chilling or somebody they drafted in like the 5th round this year.
Because I don't think they believe in Xavier Woods there. But Von Bell's getting pretty old. I don't know if I'd pull him in. But Logan Ryan at corner for the Dallas Cowboys makes a lot of sense.
He makes a lot of sense everywhere.
It really does. So, I mean, I'll be honest. If I'm looking at Logan Ryan and I need cornerback help, I'm probably going after him. I could totally see Von Bell going to the Browns.
Oh my gosh! Thank you for talking about Logan Ryan so much because I just realized I don't have him in my lineup in my IDP playoff challenge, and I need to fix that immediately. Who am I even playing? Now I'm wondering who I'm playing. I know I'm not playing him. I don't know who I'm playing. I got to figure this out. I hope he has no, because he's playing the Chiefs. I don't know if I want to play him. I don't want him to touch anybody. I don't want him to touch that ball. Wide open, Tyreek, streak.
Bro, he ain't gonna guard Tyreek.
He can't guard Tyreek.
Exactly.
He can't guard Kelsey. He can be sitting on the bench. He can't guard nobody. They're unguardable. Didn't you read all the comments this week? Frank Clark is now the greatest tackler in the league.
Yeah.
Golly. Did you see that? I looked up all his stats. This dude was a total bum at tackling this season. He averaged 1.6 solo tackles a game this year. And he's he's in an interview talking about how easy Derrick Henry is to tackle.
Yep.
By who? Ain't you? You ain't tackling Derrick Henry.
You gonna watch him get tackled by somebody else.
Yeah. Hey guys, come over here. I'm gonna rush the passer. Delicately.
Yeah.
I will say he did have some big plays last week.
Blow on the tackler.
He did have some big plays, and maybe that's why he was on an all-time high because he was just average all year. He was below average all year, let's be real here, especially because they paid him.
And they said something. I mean, there was this thing maybe, but like you said, he has not been good this year. He has not.
Isn't he the highest paid player on the team?
It's a shame. And then they didn't take Jones is what's frustrating, or D Ford. Although D Ford's he's had a different role this year, but yeah, Frank Clark was. I wish they would have not paid him and they got Yannick this year, or I wish they could get rid of him somehow and get Yannick. That would be incredible.
It's gonna be a hard sell.
Oh, he would instantly be like my second or third favorite Chief.
You would buy that jersey,
It's
huh?
gonna be a hard sell.
You know how hard, a red Chiefs Yannick jersey would hit? Oh, baby.
You'd probably buy 3.
Give me all that.
It's like, here, take my whole paycheck. I'll just take all Yannick jerseys.
Yes. They're all. I'm going to buy them out because they're going to be worth 10, 15 years when he's first ballot Hall of Famer. No.
He's probably said first ballot Hall of Famer. Speaking of first ballot Hall of Famers, do you think Luke Kuechly is?
Oh, yeah. He's got to be. I mean, yes, I think he is. I mean, we might have to talk about it a little bit, and it might be like a topic of conversation. But although, I mean, he has to be. I mean, they've done some shady stuff with some of these guys, but I think another question for public outcry if he was not would shut down the NFL. Like,
I don't know, man. I've seen some shady business going on.
True that.
I'm gonna give you a quick stat. Real quick, and I want to ask you if this person is, if you believe they're a Hall of Famer, just from stats. Okay.
Oh, this is never fun.
57,000 career passing yards, 366 touchdowns, 244 interceptions, with a losing record.
Is that Brett
Favre?
And
and 2 Super Bowl wins.
No, it sounds like Eli.
It is Eli Manning.
Yeah,
is he a Super Bowl? Is he a Hall of Famer?
He will be.
I think he should be, yeah.
He's 117 and 116, I think.
The stat that you did not read was between the lines.
The two
Super Bowl wins over.
If I take the 2 Super Bowl wins away, if I say no Super Bowl, and I gave you those stats, I told you as
their context. This context matters, though. He beat Tom Brady twice, and not the Tom Brady that played last year.
He beat the defense.
Whatever, he did it. Ring. I'm not even
here's what a lot of people
Eli fan. I'll rep for him right now.
Do you realize on that Super Bowl team, he had 4 players that were Biletnikoff Award winners in college?
That's great. That's every quarterback's dream come true. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. Imagine what Joe Montana and Steve Young and Tom Brady, Dan Marino would have done with 4 Biletnikoff winners on their team.
Tom Brady's played with plenty of first ballot Hall of Famers and won plenty of Super Bowls with them.
Dude, one receiver on his team was a Hall of Famer, and that was Randy Moss at the end of his career. One.
Randy Moss.
There's been other first ballot Hall of Famers on Super Bowl winning Patriots team, hasn't there? Has there not been?
Who?
Tom Brady?
Yeah, Tom Brady, who's still
playing. He counts like 10 players because he's won like 10 damn Super Bowls.
We're talking about wide receivers.
There's one every. There's a first ballot.
I'm talking about wide receivers. I'm not talking about their team.
I don't know. I don't know anything
Brandon Givens
about their wide receivers.
Deion Branch, Wes Welker at the end of his career. Sure.
Nikhil Harry, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Ask any draft Twitter person.
Nikhil Harry played 3 games this year or some shit like that.
I'm just playing. You guys don't think Julian Edelman's a first ballot Hall of Famer? Rob Gronkowski is. You guys just
he's not a wide receiver.
No. Okay.
He's a tight end.
Pass catcher.
Is Rob Gronkowski a first ballot? I don't think so.
Again, you have to contextualize the Super Bowl wins, and I mean,
but that's
okay.
Aaron Hernandez got to the Super Bowl.
Oh man,
not a Super Bowl, but he played in like 2 or 3 seasons. Gronk, I mean, like you're comparing apples and oranges now.
Yeah,
I'm also talking about a player who continued to get injured in Gronk too.
Mm-hmm. So did Luke Kuechly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Gronkowski's stats don't. I mean, he's a monster. Let's not get that twisted, right? But there's very few players I could tell you this dude's a first ballot Hall of Famer as a tight end. Mm-hmm. Very few.
I mean, Gronk might come back still. I mean, like it's not like his career's over, and he could probably still go into the first.
Bro, he looks skinny as shit.
He looks weird.
Yeah, he does look kind of.
He's lost so much weight since he started smoking weed.
Basketball. No more football. He's probably in the gym.
Yeah, he looks
all right. Well, I guess kind of exhausted.
521 receptions, 7,800 yards receiving, and 79 touchdowns is what his stats are. 4-time Pro Bowler.
4-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Super Bowl champion. Did he ever get a Super Bowl MVP in there?
What did Ben Watson do?
Ben Watson, didn't he just like lose in the playoffs with the Saints again?
Ben Watson.
No, because they
Ben Watson almost has identical numbers. He has more passing yards.
How many?
More receiving yards. He has half the touchdowns though.
That matters.
And not a single Pro Bowl.
No Pro Bowls, no Super Bowl wins. I mean, it's more.
But almost the same numbers
go into being in the Hall of Fame.
That just shows you how big of a name Gronkowski is. He almost had the same numbers.
Those touchdowns
twice
mean a lot. Touchdowns. Those Super Bowls mean a hell of a lot. That's why Eli's going.
Yeah, he went to the Super Bowl.
Well, that's why Eli's going to the Hall of Fame.
Well, Watson won 2 Super Bowls too. Maybe more. So
that's
he's with the Patriots for 7 years.
Yeah, it's true. But
so, all right. Well, that's pretty much all we got. Obviously, I think the free agent market's going to get crazy, and we're going to continue to talk about it on Twitter. Going to continue to talk about it here. I am mega jealous that you guys are going to the Senior Bowl. Maybe we'll do a impromptu one night while I'm talking to both of you while you're in the room. So
yeah, maybe we'll get something.
You guys aren't partying too hard. Are you there?
Hopefully not.
All right, I need you to do one favor for me if you can.
What's that?
I need you to get a signature from Neville Gallimore for me after you interview him.
Neville Gallimore.
He's a monster of a man.
I'm surprised you didn't ask for somebody else, but
nah, man. Boomer Sooner, bro. Come on.
Well, I know, but
keep it on brand.
I don't need Jalen Hurts. I need Neville. I'm IDP here. I will get that dude's jersey. I'm telling you, Neville Gallimore is a monster.
Nice.
From Canada, by the way.
Oh, Canada. Love me.
He was one of the first Army All-Americans to play from Canada. One of the first, which is crazy. If not the first. So nice. I'll be really interested to see where he goes to because he reminds me a lot of Jordan Phillips.
Yeah, he had a good season this
They
year.
both went to Oklahoma, both about the same size. If he could get a move or two more, he could be deadly in the pros. So he's a player that I'm really interested to watch. A guy that flew under the radar this year as a cornerback from Oklahoma is Pernell Motley, who shut down pretty much everybody all year long. Jamar Chase in their game had, 2 catches or something like that? And then he had, 4 touchdowns in the championship game. So he played at East West Shrine game. He's not playing the Senior Bowl, which is interesting to me. But all right, well, that's pretty much it, guys. You got anything else?
Nah, just, thanks for listening, tuning in. This is the IDP Hour. Hashtag IDP Army. We love you guys. Appreciate you. We'll be dropping, more content on IDP 123 scoring on Twitter and on Instagram, and we'll probably talk about it again at some point. But we just wanted to bring that up so you guys would have context for pretty much all of our conversations around players when we talk about scoring and stuff. And, yeah, we're going to Senior Bowl. I'm pumped. This time tomorrow I'll be closing in on Mobile, Alabama, I think. So I'm getting excited, getting a little anxious, but I'm ready to get there and get to rocking and rolling.
We're leaving about 6 o'clock.
You are?
Yep.
Nice.
Well, you need to get some sleep tonight before you head out.
Yeah.
Both
Go
you
Chiefs,
guys.
baby.
At least let me know when you get there. So, I got the day off tomorrow, but I can't.
We'll
It's about the only day I got off tomorrow. So
keep you up to date. All right. Well, hit him with it.
See ya.